Good morning, everyone, and welcome to episode 4 of Beyond the Ropes. I'm Rob.
I'm Ethan.
Now, what's been, first we have an announcement, right?
Yes, Saturday, October 1st from 11 a.m. to 11 p.m., the International Street Fair and Diversity Festival is happening in Artesia. There will be an international entertainment and cuisine, live music, beer garden, arts and crafts, shopping, Kids Zone, and giveaways. You can purchase Kids Zone ride wristbands and tickets from the Fun Services booth located in the Kids Zone. Tickets are $2 each. Wristbands first 4 hours $10, half day $15, full day $20. And that there will be a free festival shuttle as well. You can visit www.cityofartesia.us for more information.
Awesome. So what's been going on right now with wrestling?
Alright, so this past Sunday, Raw had its first official pay-per-view Clash of Champions. Now, last week we made some predictions. Let's start off with the kickoff match between Alicia Fox and Nia Jax. If I'm not mistaken, Nia Jax won, which we both got correct. So there's one for us. The Cruiserweight Championship match between T.J. Perkins and Brian Kendrick. You said Kendrick was going to win. I voted for TJ, and TJ is still the current champion. More into that a little bit later when we talk about Raw. We both said it was going to be Chris Jericho defeating Sami Zayn, and we were right. Jericho with the victory, the second victory in a row in a pay-per-view. Match 7 in the Cesaro versus Sheamus match. You guessed it correct. There was a no contest. I said Sheamus, but it led to something on Monday night, which I will get to in a few minutes. But yeah, no contest. They both really battered each other from what I saw. And they had to be separated, and the match ended up in a no contest. For the Raw Tag Team Championship, the New Day took on Gallows and Anderson. The New Day retained their tag team titles. You said the club would win, and I said the New Day would win, so I got that one there. And for the Raw Women's Championship, we both said Sasha Banks was going to win the title back. It ended up being Charlotte retaining the championship. So we both missed that, but there is going to be more between Charlotte and Sasha Banks once we get into the Raw recap. We both said Roman Reigns was going to win the United States Championship, and after Lana was ejected from the match, Roman Reigns did that, and he solidified himself as the U.S. champion. And finally, the WWE Universal Championship match between Seth Rollins and Kevin Owens, where Kevin Owens won thanks to the help of his best friend Chris Jericho. And it left Seth a bit injured right there with his ribs, which we will get into right now on Monday Night Raw. So the opening segment was a rematch between Roman Reigns and Rusev for the United States Championship. This match took about half an hour of the first 30 minutes of the show. Good back and forth match. It ultimately ended in a no contest, with Rusev getting hit in the back with the steel chair. So there's definitely something that's got to be said and done. There's going to be a continuation of the feud, I assume.
Yeah.
Perhaps in Hell in a Cell, if I'm not mistaken. That's the next event. We could see a Hell in a Cell match there. They normally do 2 matches, so the other one will probably be the Universal title.
Yeah, because after all, most champions they like to have a rematch clause.
Right. And so since that one didn't end the way in a definite finish, I guess, there's definitely going to be more to that. Going to the women's division, Bayley ended up picking up a victory over, I believe, I don't remember her name. It was a jobber, right? It was an independent wrestler.
Yeah.
But yeah, anyways, it kept Bayley. She picked up the victory, so it kept her momentum going even after her loss at Clash of Champions. And then going to the women's championship scene, we saw Charlotte and Dana Brooke pretty much bragging about the victory Charlotte had. And Sasha Banks wants another match, and she got it next week in Los Angeles on Monday Night Raw. Man, I wish I was going to that show. I didn't even know they were going to be here. But yeah, that'll be Sasha Banks versus Charlotte next week, Monday Night Raw at Staples Center in LA.
Have you noticed though the difference of the technique that Sasha Banks' finisher? It's kind of changed. Like, it's a little bit done more safer than as opposed to the backcracker that we're used to. That's part of the maneuver.
Yeah, I think it's probably because of her back injury that she's had. Definitely, I think she wants to be more careful.
Yeah,
with what
it
she do.
seems more like a monkey flip now than the
Mhm.
traditional backcracker move.
Yeah, but the main submission is still there, the bank statement submission. So as long as that looks good, I guess that works out. And then we move on to the cruiserweight division. We had 2 cruiserweight matches this week on Raw, which was cool to see. We saw Rich Swann and Cedric Alexander take on Drew Gulak and, oh my god, I'm blanking.
Lots of athleticism on the match.
Yeah, there was a lot of athleticism. And it was a great back and forth match. Really good. And I will say the Cruiserweight division is becoming the highlight, probably, of Monday Night Raw, for me at least.
Yeah, I mean, even the signature, there's like a different atmosphere. I would say I'd compare it to giving it that unique feel. Just like when Sin Cara would wrestle, they dim the lights.
Right.
Well, in this, it's more of the ropes.
They changed the color of the ropes this week, more like the Cruiserweight Classic style that they had. They did the same thing where they patted them down before the match, and then they raised their hands side by side at the end of the match. So that was cool that they did that. And then we saw the Cruiserweight champion make his debut, T.J. Perkins, taking on, oh my god,
Kendrick?
no, it
Right?
was not Kendrick. No, oh my god, I'm blanking. I didn't take
Kendrick was just there watching, huh?
Kendrick was backstage and challenged him for a rematch, and it's happening next week.
That was my first time watching TJ's entrance.
Yeah,
Pretty interesting.
Yeah, it's a new entrance. He had a different theme song in the Cruiserweight Classic, which I think I preferred. But I guess it works out for his character, and he's really one of the best in the ring in that Cruiserweight division. Tony Nese was his opponent. Another great athlete. He calls himself the premier athlete, and he backed that up on Monday, even though he came up short and lost to T.J. Perkins. And then we move on to the tag team division. Anderson and Gallows got the rematch against the New Day, which a team that has now held the tag team titles for 400 days, probably 402 days now. It's on Wednesday. They were 400 days on Monday. So it shows you just how popular, how good everyone thinks they are. And they really are. They're a great team, entertaining team, and they worked well together. And they picked up the victory. Kofi got busted open.
Yeah.
And ended up getting 9 stitches. I don't know if you saw his Instagram photo or one of his photos. While he's getting stitches, they're all posing and smiling, and it's a pretty cool picture. So you should definitely check that out. And then we're going to move on to the Universal title scene. Chris Jericho hosted the highlight reel with his guest, Kevin Owens, the Universal Champion. They pretty much talked about how they're better than Seth Rollins and why Kevin Owens is the man. Seth tried to come out but was stopped by security due to his injury. And it ultimately led to Enzo and Cass coming out to take on Chris Jericho and Kevin Owens. Great back and forth and to close the show, and Kevin Owens picked up the victory. So that was Raw. We definitely saw some progression and some of the aftermath of Clash of Champions. Next week in Staples Center, it will be Brian Kendrick versus T.J. Perkins for the Cruiserweight title. And as I mentioned, it will be Sasha versus Charlotte for the Women's Championship. And another interesting side note, Ashton Kutcher and Danny Masterson might be there as guest stars after Jericho called them out last week, and they were replied with a video. Did you see that? See the video?
No, I didn't.
We're pretty much responding to Jericho when he was making his entrance, and it was funny. They said they were ready to come and see who the better best friend duo is between Jericho and Kevin Owens, and Jericho and Jericho said if they show up, he's gonna put them on the list. The list of Jericho. That list is getting long. He's putting everyone in there. He put the cameraman this week too. So that's definitely something to look forward to in the next week. SmackDown, some pretty big progression in storylines. For the women's division, we saw the tag team match between Naomi and Nikki Bella against Carmella and Natalia.
That was a good one.
That was a really
Yeah.
good one. We saw Carmella keeps picking up the victories over Nikki.
I know, but it was shocking because it turns out that online there's these rumors that, fans, again, you have to realize that it is scripted.
Mhm.
At the end of the day, it is like, you're watching acting and stuff, but it's shocking because it turns out that Carmella has been getting like threats and stuff because
wow.
they're taking it too serious that she's beating up Nikki all the time every week.
Oh wow. But yeah, she's a dominant heel now. Well, that's what they're making her out to be. I haven't heard those threats, but wow, that's crazy. But yeah, she's doing great. I think the SmackDown Women's Division is really looking strong. You had Becky Lynch, the champion, coming out what we assume was a match before she was attacked by Alexa Bliss, making Alexa Bliss look strong there. So those two will be competing for the women's title at No Mercy, which is SmackDown's next special event, pay-per-view. Then we move to the Intercontinental Championship. Probably my favorite thing on SmackDown. The Miz comes out to a homecoming celebration in Cleveland, says LeBron James is a traitor, and says he should be getting that homecoming feel that the Cleveland Cavaliers got this past summer. And then we have him call out Dolph Ziggler's parents who are in the audience, in which Dolph comes out and pretty much the Miz degrades Ziggler's career. He's been losing a lot. He calls him a loser. And that ultimately led to Dolph asking for a match for the IC title once more. And he's putting his career on the line.
It's quite interesting because actually there's been talk about reviving an old faction, but it'll be totally new people. But basically the concept was people that were legit like college wrestling athletes.
Oh, okay.
And they would have Dolph supposedly in this group soon.
That sounds interesting. So do you see Dolph winning the title?
Well, only because they can't like end his career. It turns out he really is gonna want to stay. Yeah, he'll get the belt.
He'll get the belt?
Yeah.
I read several months ago his contract was coming to an end this year. So I think there's a possibility he could be done because he could be interested in other things. He does comedy a lot. He's a comedian. He's probably interested in acting, I would assume, because he's acted before. So, I mean, there's a possibility it could be over, but at the same time, he could win that Intercontinental Championship. I think he's really, despite losing all the matches, he's really been giving so much emotion and so much to this character in recent months. And the same goes for The Miz. So I really don't want to see The Miz lose a title, but at the same time, I do want to see Ziggler around a lot longer. So I'm looking forward to that.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got much more to talk about, especially Ryback. But first, let's take care of this quick break.
Cool.
It was Eisenhower in the Cold War. It was
Yeah,
Martin
any
and
one of
Lewis
those.
and I Love Lucy, the Edsel, Sputnik, and rock and roll. Learn how it started, how it grew from a guy who knows everything about it, and from the people who made it happen. Steve Probst plays the legendary music and talks to the legends who made it happen every night at 10 p.m. Pacific on the Steve Probst 45 show. You'll hear the stacks of wax, the platters that really matter, as you'll hear how this most vital of all forms of music began. Join us for 2 hours of real classic rock, the Steve Probst 45 show, every night from 10 p.m. Pacific to midnight, only on WPMD on the Nets, where people make a difference.
Getting pulled over for buzz driving could cost you around $10,000 in fines, legal fees, and increased insurance rates. Nothing kills a buzz like getting pulled over for buzz driving, because driving is drunk driving. Brought to you by the National Highway Traffic Safety Administration and the Ad Council, and WPMD on the Net, the voice of Cerritos College, where people make a difference.
Introducing the YMCA. What, you already know the why? Or so you think. Sure, you know the why for a swim, a workout, even a game of hoops. But did you know we're more than that? We're a cause. When you take your jump shot at the Y, someone else is getting job training. Take the cardio class, while kids are in an after-school enrichment program. Practice your downward-facing dog as a team practices her leadership skills. That's the why. We work with people no matter their age, income, or background and give them the opportunity to learn, grow, and thrive, all with one simple goal in mind, to strengthen our community. And we've got so much more that does just that. So while you might think of the Y as that place for lifting weights, we're also about lifting entire communities. Introducing the Y. We're so much more than a place, we're a cause. Visit ymca.net/more.
And we are back here, ladies and gentlemen. This is Beyond the Ropes, and wow, an interesting. There's always juicy gossip when it comes to the wrestling world, and there's always been talk that there's perhaps a rivalry between CM Punk and Ryback, but it's interesting because people might think that Ryback is trying to copycat Punk by talking to an MMA organization.
Wow, yeah, I just heard that within the last 24 hours or so. I don't know how long it's been out. But yeah, I really don't know much about it. That's interesting. He wants to get into that. He doesn't look like an MMA fighter to me.
Well, I mean, I guess because he has the same build and physique like Brock and Bobby
Yeah.
Lashley.
Okay, yeah, I guess that I could see that happening. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with Ryback. He's been doing a lot of things outside. I know he got his name legally changed.
Yes, and there's lots of talk about that when a wrestler really can't seem to differentiate their character that they portrayed in wrestling and real life. For example, Stone Cold, he had legally changed his name so that it really is Steve Austin instead of William.
Ultimate Warrior is a big one.
Yeah.
He legally changed his name to Warrior.
Because copyright is like a huge thing in wrestling.
Mm-hmm. So, I mean, he really wanted that right back. He tried to, I think, get Feed Me More and The Big Guy. I think the copyrights to that. I don't know if he did get it or not, or if that's still in progress, but yeah, that's pretty intense right there.
If anything, maybe WWE lectured him in the past when he was already talking about jumping ship to another wrestling company and trying to come up with alternate names like Ryborg going to the Impact Zone.
I heard that Ryborg one. I would have liked that actually, but yeah, I guess if he legally changes his name, he can use it.
Yeah, I think if he does not mention Ryborg and kept it silent and a secret, maybe things would have worked all right. But maybe WWE was like, hey, like, why would you talk about an organization you're working for? Wait till you're professional before you leave us,
Yeah, I guess he was already on his way out, so he probably just decided to talk, and they probably didn't care. Who knows? Probably.
But I mean, at the end of the day, this is a money-making industry, and it's all about your brand. You're building yourself. They invest in you, and then you're free to be, an independent worker and move to another company, and the doors are always open to come back to a place.
Right. Speaking of another organization, if I might say, there's another big news. TNA could be bought by WWE. Have you heard that?
Yeah.
So pretty much TNA is in trouble. This Sunday they have to have their biggest pay-per-view of the year, Bound for Glory. And next week they have to tape some episodes for their show, Impact. So pretty much they don't have that money. Billy Corgan, the lead singer of the Smashing Pumpkins, who's now president, has been giving money in the past, but now he's trying to buy the company, and there are pretty much a lot of obstacles to do that. It's going to take a lot of time, and it appears WWE is interested in TNA primarily for the tape, the library, so they can have footage and material for the WWE network, which would mean most likely TNA is not going to be around if WWE were to buy them. I doubt they would do they keep it around. They'll probably do what they did to WCW and pretty much just end it like that.
Well, I mean, Vince is a pioneer, and when he purchased WCW, he was able to make a lot of money with creating such an amazing storyline where WCW is invading
Right.
the WWE. That would be so cool if, even though he purchases the WWE, they do a TNA invasion storyline.
I would definitely like that. A lot of the main guys that were in TNA are currently in WWE now. Samoa Joe, AJ Styles, Bobby Roode, James Storm was there for a little bit. Austin Aries is here. So it would be interesting. We would see probably some former WWE guys too, the Hardys, Lashley. So that would be really interesting to see. It really just depends, I guess, if they do decide to do it like that and what contracts they get, who wants to stay, who wants to go. So hopefully, if they do purchase TNA, we'll get to see some type of that, I guess, activity going around the invasion angle or something to that extent. Because definitely they could fill up the rosters in NXT, SmackDown, and Raw.
And plus, I mean, money-wise, it's a great investment because every time Vince has purchased like a wrestling company and had like videos of matches from other companies, he's been able to honor former wrestlers by making an autobiographical type of DVD about them.
Right.
And what better way than to like look at some of their best matches from if it turns out they wrestled for another company, and they have some of the top best video editors for the WWE that make amazing DVDs for wrestlers.
You talk about AJ Styles, who was in TNA for over a decade. He has so many matches. That's his entire career right there, essentially. You could have a DVD like that. You talk about Sting, who left after WCW to TNA. He has a lot of matches there. Definitely, I'm sure they would want all of that in home videos.
And I think
on the
there
network.
he experienced more hardcore.
And hardcore is really a different kind of genre in professional wrestling. It stands on its own, and it's probably one of the most popular ones out there.
Yep. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a brief clip. It's like 3 minutes, I believe, of 2 minutes, of a particular wrestler from the past.
Yep, the Sheik, a WWE Hall of Famer, and one of the more hardcore wrestlers to ever step foot in a wrestling ring.
So here we go with the video.
1949, the enigma known as the Sheik was released upon the wrestling world, unleashing a nearly 4-decade path of mayhem and destruction.
The Sheik is one of the most unpredictable human beings, if you can call him that.
Born Edward Farhat, the Sheik brought a unique style to the squared circle. He was sadistic. A steel spike, his trusty number 2 pencil, as well as biting his opponent's face, were methods the Sheik employed to disfigure.
The Sheik is fighting him. He's fighting him.
Even more infamous, however, was his mysterious ball of fire.
He has the amazing capability of suddenly producing fire.
The Sheik has got the
Brutal tactics such as these made the Wild Man from Syria one of the most bloodthirsty and insane competitors in wrestling. In 1972, Pro Wrestling Illustrated even named the Sheik the year's most hated wrestler. But the originator of hardcore was more than just a purveyor of pain. He was a promoter, operating Detroit's big-time wrestling from 1964 to 1980, and a champion, capturing numerous titles worldwide, including the NWA US title an astounding 12 times. In his wake, the Sheik left behind a sea of scarred flesh and broken bones. But his legacy lives on through his training of Rob Van Dam, his nephew Sabu, and many others who chose to follow the Sheik's hardcore footsteps. The WWE Hall of Fame is proud to welcome the Sheik.
What a career, ladies and gentlemen.
And you talk about training Sabu and Rob Van Dam. the two main faces in ECW. And so that's truly a legacy because RVD is former WWE champion, a WWE superstar, and he could be there. He's going to be a future Hall of Famer one day, and I'm sure Sabu will probably be up there too.
Yeah, Sabu really endured a lot of pain, and it's interesting because before he became famous for like hardcore matches, and first he would like assist his uncles and like he would like accompany them, I guess, in matches. But
Right.
his uncle's like, you gotta do something that'll make you stand out, and he will do a backflip with a table.
Oh wow, yeah, that he was so innovative with those moves with tables and using chairs to jump and springboard on the ropes and then jump on into tables and stuff. Crazy.
He's like, I'll jump on it until it breaks.
Right.
I'm gonna keep having to do that every day, and he did that I think for 2 years before he started to like really compete like that.
Yeah, it was crazy.
So people were amazed, like, whoa, this guy goes ahead and moonsaults himself into a table on purpose.
Yeah, something you've never seen before, something you probably will never see again. It shows how innovative you had to be during that time, in ECW specifically, but in anywhere he did that. So whether it was WWE, TNA, he did that everywhere he went.
And another component within wrestling, when you see televised wrestling,
Mhm.
you see people that call play-by-play.
Yes, commentary, probably what gets you into that match. Yes, you can watch the match by itself, and it's going to be great. Usually, the performers are going to put it all on the line, but without commentary, you're not going to know all the moves. You may not know what their story, unless they really tell it really well in the ring. But you have those killer commentators and those play-by-play commentators to call those matches. So it's important to have good commentary.
So, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, this match that we're going to call is from TNA.
Yes, it is a 3-team, 6 sides of steel match between LAX, Motor City Machine Guns, and No Limit.
So you'll hear every now and then maybe some sound for the match, but what we're going to do is play a little theater of the mind here where we're going to call the matches as we see it.
This is going to be interesting. We've never done this before. We haven't rehearsed this, so this is a special live action right here.
We're going to wing it.
Let's do it.
As you know, we have theme music here. Here we go. The start of the match.
All right. So we see each member going back and forth, punches and kicks. Oh, someone's already being pushed against the stick side of steel.
Just so you know,
Wow.
we're gonna call moves, and that's because we've known now the names of the moves for years of watching wrestling. So we hear things like here's a snapmare or anything like that. It's just moves, but we'll explain later. Oh, okay, that's a good shot right there.
Oh, one of them
Suplex.
trying to escape already.
Yes, this is a cage match. Like I said, it's a great segue because in hardcore there is also been cage matches. So basically, you're just confined in the cage, but you can use it as a weapon by just tossing them to it.
Nice low drop kick by Alex Shelley.
Yes, and he Naito is in a move called the Tree of Woe.
Yeah, Tree of Woe is pretty much when you're hung up upside down from the top rope.
Yes, and he just did a baseball slide kick to him. Anyways, there's Hernandez right there, and he's trying to pick up one of the Motor City Machine Guns members.
Oh,
Good move, good dodge.
oh, nice uppercut right there.
Yeah, that's Homicide from LAX, which was a team called the Latin American Exchange.
They dominated the tag team division for quite some time,
Yes.
back when they were around.
Oh, okay. A little bit game of strength there.
Oh,
Ooh.
power slam.
Yes, that's a great move right there. Naito walking back up to him.
Oh, he
Alex
picked up.
Shelley, I believe.
Hard shot by Homicide.
Homicide's waiting for him. He's waiting for Naito to get up.
And we see the machine guns taking on each member of the other team pretty much dominating. Look at those hard shots by
Chris Sabin's
Chris Sabin.
punches.
And look at Hernandez's strength.
Yes,
Oh,
he's
he
got a
drops-
great power bomb. His finisher's called the border toss.
Nice enseguri by Sabin.
Yes. Oh.
Into a submission. Look at that.
Yes, he's trying to attack the octopus stretch, but it doesn't look like he can get the big man down. They always call Hernandez Super Mex. He's picking him up. Oh, picked him up like a rag doll.
Those chops by Sabin.
Yes, chops are moves that like almost, that's a standard move that almost every wrestler uses.
Oh my God.
Toss right to the table. Oh,
Tossed him right against that cage.
yes. I don't think Chris Sabin's going to get up for a while now.
Now look at that.
Oh, Alex Shelley trying to get revenge for his partner.
Look at that, those chops to Hernandez.
Oh, stomping him right on the ground. Oh, he's looking groggy right there. Hernandez is groggy.
Going for a suplex, but I don't think it's going to work out.
Oh.
It's not working out for him.
And Homicide, he's trying to get up to try to save his partner, but he can't. He's working against Naito right now. Oh, that's a great move right there. That's almost shades of the jackhammer.
Yeah, he's holding him up, and look.
Great save.
Great save
Motor
by
City
Sabin.
Machine Guns trying to tag move.
Double elbow to the side of the head on Hernandez.
Team No Limit. They're well.
Wow. Super Max with a superplex
Yes, that was a double move right there. Double suplex.
on the Motor City Machine Guns.
Yes, they both tried to do the double suplex, but Hernandez is much stronger. He was able to suplex them both.
Now no limit. The only ones standing
Yes,
up, taking
double
control
Irish
of the match.
whip. Oh, great tag team move right there.
Low clothesline.
Yes, he's gonna toss Sabin towards his partner. Boom.
Reverse atomic drop.
Yes.
Oh, nice
Good.
senton bomb
Yeah.
right there.
No Limit looks like they're trying to go ahead and get the momentum now in this match.
And Hernandez stops their momentum.
Yes.
Right there. And now LAX seems to be in control.
Yes. And, you know, these guys seem like X Division guys, but, you know, the wild card I'd say is Hernandez because he's really heavyweight.
Yeah, but he has that speed and athleticism that a lot of guys his size don't really have.
Yes, you don't see guys in wrestling doing jumping moves from the third rope at all.
Now it looks like they're going to go for a tag team move here.
Oh, slammed right towards the cage. High flying move.
Wow. Now it goes for the cover, and it's stopped by Alex Shelley.
Oh, man. You know, there's always anticipation because, you know, only one person can win. So the ref's constantly trying to count to three, but, you know, each participant can break the hold anytime.
Right, with 6 men in that cage, it's going to be hard to get that cover. They're going to have to do a lot of damage.
This is always anticipation when there's both standing on the cage and they're just headbutting each other, making sure they're not going to let their opponent climb out.
And it's Homicide and Alex Shelley up there, and now we see
Oh,
some tag team
he fell
efforts.
right on the ropes.
Nice drop kick by Sabin. Right against the steel cage.
Oh, man. Oh, now they're going to tag team on Hernandez. Can they get Supermax there?
They got to take down each team one by one. That's how you do it. Nice forearm.
Oh, poetry in motion. Double kicks to Hernandez. The Motor City Machine Guns making their way over there to Homicide, his tag team partner, tossing him right on top of his own partner.
This is an interesting double team move here.
Oh, this is going to be like what? A mix of like a... Oh, okay, drop kick
STO.
with... Yes.
STO with both Hernandez. Both Hernandez and Homicide being taken down. And now...
High flying move. Is he going to make it? Oh,
wow.
Spinning tornado DDT.
Yep. It goes for the
Pinfall.
cover.
And, oh, it's only a 2 count.
Stopped by No Limit member right there.
Ooh, what's going to happen next? What's going to happen next? Again, as always, everybody seems to be gunning for Hernandez because he's the biggest guy in the entire match.
You gotta cut down that tree right there.
Yes, clothesline, elbow,
Look at
another
that.
third
No limit.
person.
No Limit and the Motor City Machine Guns teaming up here. And Hernandez moves out of the way, and now look at that.
Oh, again, poetry in motion. Boom. And that's basically where the guy bends and their partner jumps on them, runs and jumps on their own partner to hit the other guy.
And now Hernandez is in control. Took down one of the Motor City Machine Guns.
Okay, now LAX is the only team standing so far. They're going to try to use this advantage to gain the momentum. Keep the guys down. Oh, caught Alex Shadley in midair.
Nice belly-to-belly
Ooh.
suplex.
Yujiro, I think he's got Yujiro here.
Now it looks like there may be another tag team move here between
This should be
LAX.
something.
He's scaling the ropes.
Oh, it looks like almost a double leg famous or
Wow.
something right there.
A famous style move right there.
Only a 2 count.
Kick out.
Yep, shoulder up right there. Oh, he didn't get to get Sabin right there.
And
Oh,
he
caught him.
Sabin.
Trying to go for a crossbody.
Look at that. Sabin trying to reverse the powerbomb
Yeah.
maneuver.
Almost looked like a Hurricanrana. Is he going for a schoolboy?
Going for that roll up. Going for the... But Hernandez is fighting it.
He's too powerful. I mean, he just lifts them up like rag dolls every time
Right.
he try to go for a schoolboy. It's just not
Up.
possible to do it to him.
There he goes with the ragdoll.
Oh, man. It's something how he just lifts them by the ears or something.
And threw him against the cage. Wow.
Oh, man.
That was a nasty fall. Sabin now clutching his head. Now we see in the background No Limit member against Homicide, I believe.
Yeah, Hernandez is definitely the dominant one in this whole match here.
Absolutely. And you see the audience in
Oh, is he going for the border toss? Here he goes. That's his power bomb. It's basically like Scott Hall's move right
Wow,
here.
he threw him against the cage.
That's like a powerful version of Razor's Edge right there.
The machine guns are down. Now you see No Limit and LAX competing and out. Nice power slam.
Oh, man. Let's see who's getting up. Who's going to get up here? No Limit. No Limit's trying to work right here on their opponent. Hernandez going right now for the Irish Whip. Oh, they're going to perform a double team.
Oh, nice tag team maneuver. Dropping him on his back. Oh, nice
made the
save.
save.
Nice save by Homicide. Probably one of the smaller members in that team, but he's definitely keeping it up. And now No Limit, not holding back at all.
Yeah. And it's worth noting, ladies and gentlemen, this match is actually for a championship belt. It's this New Japan Championship one, a junior one.
The junior tag team titles, right? Junior
Yes.
heavyweight tag team titles.
Boom.
And now we see one of them trying to escape the cage.
Yes,
Or
I think
wait.
Naito's going for a
No.
high flying move. Oh,
went
he
for a
rolled out the
headbutt
way.
and got out of the way. And now you see, there we go.
Scoop slam.
And now we're gonna see.
Okay, two different teams trying to jump.
Wow.
Oh, and he rolled away
A
again.
corkscrew moonsault missed. And Sabin just keeps dodging those moves.
And you know, one of the deadliest ways to really have a move like go wrong for you is if you high fly and your opponent lifts their knees, because then you could risk breaking your own ribs.
Rib injury, back injury, however you land, it's not gonna be good. And now you see the machine guns
Is
double.
he going for a double jump?
A
Oh!
splash and a leg drop by the Motor City Machine Gun, stopped by Hernandez. And now he just carries them
He's
like
lifting him
children.
again. Alex Shelley trying to grab the rope of the cage to save
Nice
himself, but
T-bone
not gonna
suplex.
happen.
Oh, half Nelson, excuse me.
Oh, and again,
ne-
Hernandez is
neck
down.
breaker. And drop kick by Homicide.
Oh, no. Team No Limit says, I don't think so, Alex, not right now.
And you have to have eyes in the back of your head in this match, because there's so many guys and so many things could go wrong if you miss something.
Yes, and I like the camera angles that TNA uses, because the structure, it's 6 sides, and they kind of use wire cutters, I guess, to cut a portion of the fence.
Wow, what a
for
cutter.
the camera.
Absolutely, the camera angles and those cutters, double team move by Machine Guns, and look at those kicks to Hernandez.
Oh, what a
my!
series of kicks. Yes, lots of energy and momentum here.
They're gaining that momentum. They're using that endurance, that speed that they have.
Let's see the Motor Machine Guns. They're trying to use a double team on a No Limit member.
Is this a sliced bread right here?
Yes.
A sliced bread power bomb? Oh,
Oh! 1,
Goes to the
2,
cover.
3.
he got it.
Amazing, ladies and gentlemen. Wow, let's talk about this match. Wow, this was really something.
And the Motor City Machine Guns retained the titles in against all odds. They were inside a 6 sides of steel match, steel cage, against 2 of probably the elite teams at that time in 2009.
Yeah, I mean, wow. That was the Motor City Machine Guns. Both members had been X Division champions, and they've had their opportunity to be at the top in that division.
Hmm. And if I'm not mistaken, Chris Sabin is a former TNA World Champion. So it shows you what can happen there.
Yes, ladies and gentlemen, we're gonna take a quick break, and we'll be right back.
Hi, I'm Silos from the New Jams Radio
Yeah,
Hour.
another one.
I'm Tao from Asian Pop Hour.
Hi, I'm Justine from Meet Me on Main Street.
You can help support WPMD.
And it's easy.
Just visit our website, WPMDonthenet.com.
Once you get there, click on the Amazon.com banner near the top of the page.
And that'll take you to Amazon.com. Then just shop like you always do. WPMD will get a percentage of your purchase, and so will the Cerritos College Foundation.
And it won't cost you anything extra.
It's a great way to help WPMD.
And get all those great bargains at the same time.
Remember, just go to WPMDonthenet.com.
Click on the Amazon banner and start shopping.
It's your way to make a difference for the place where people make a difference. WPMD on the net.
And thanks.
Thank you.
We appreciate it.
Happy shopping and thanks a bunch.
As a parent, you can't help but look at your child and wonder what the future holds. You may dream about the possibility of your son or daughter becoming a professional athlete or renowned heart surgeon. But while you're dreaming, consider this. The odds that your child will be diagnosed with autism are 1 in 68. Knowing the signs of autism and addressing it early can make a world of difference to your child and to you. To learn the signs, visit autismspeaks.org. Brought to you by Autism Speaks and the Ad Council.
At any given moment, somewhere in America, a baby is taking a first step, a developmental milestone. But for too many parents, a baby's first steps aren't just a milestone, they're a miracle. These are the parents of babies who were born prematurely or with birth defects. It's a crisis affecting more than 500,000 babies in the United States each year. You can help them by joining volunteers like you who walk and march for babies. The money you raise funds research and local programs that help babies overcome the challenges of premature birth and birth defects. Together, our steps make stronger, healthier babies a reality for thousands of families. Sign up today at marchforbabies.org to take the steps that help make milestones and even miracles possible. Who will you march for?
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Beyond the Ropes. Wow, this is really something. All these matches, I mean, it's really something, the excitement when you see a cage match or a hardcore match.
Yeah, definitely. Popularized in the 90s by ECW, but has been used ever since. I mean, you talk about hardcore and you bring up Extreme Rules by WWE, the pay-per-view, in which every match is essentially a hardcore style match. Then we move on to next month, where it will be Hell in a Cell, a special pay-per-view inside a closed cell cage. So it shows you the impact of the hardcore atmosphere and hardcore wrestling.
Yes, and I mean, I think a big figure in hardcore would definitely have to be Paul Heyman.
Paul Heyman, the pioneer of ECW, essentially the owner, before it closed down in 2001, has had a huge impact on the business of professional wrestling and sports entertainment. And you speak about hardcore, he's managed different guys, one of them being Brock Lesnar, who's on a league of his own, who's hardcore in his own way. But yeah, Paul Heyman pretty much brought everyone, you talk about Chris Jericho, he brought him into the States. Mick Foley got famous in ECW there. Stone Cold Steve Austin was given an opportunity in ECW. Rob Van Dam, as we mentioned earlier, Sabu, Tommy Dreamer, the list goes on, and you had really that atmosphere. He didn't care what they did. It's a matter of how they do it and if they can perfect that craft of hardcore wrestling.
Yes, definitely. And the thing about hardcore wrestling is, especially in ECW, the crowd literally was like wild. I mean, it was not safe to be like in the front row or anything.
They were insane. They were insane. They were involved in the matches. They had weapons that they would give to the actual wrestlers. You know, the wrestlers would go into the crowd and jump off, you know, the barriers and so on.
Yes.
It was just wild.
And I mean, that's another thing, you know, we want to explain to fans. I mean, you know, just to you audience members who perhaps haven't watched wrestling, like, okay, like, let's break it down again. Like, there is what's called a heel and a baby face in wrestling.
The baby face is the good guy, the hero. The heel is the bad guy, the villain.
And, you know, everything's scripted and everything. However, you know, the injuries, they can happen at any time.
Yeah, you talk about hardcore wrestling. Someone's going to get hurt. Even the risk factor of a regular match, you know, one-on-one tag team, so on, you're going to get hurt. But you add that risk factor of using steel chairs, using tables, ladders, chairs, cages, steel pipes, fire extinguishers, pans, trash cans, whatever you have to use, how dangerous it can be.
Yeah, because I know that sometimes you guys must have been wondering, what do you mean by the audience putting weapons in the ring? Not those kind of weapons, not guns or nothing.
No, absolutely not. By weapons, we mean like bedpans, you know, stop signs, whatever they had to use.
And one of the most iconic items that have been used now in hardcore wrestling is thumbtacks.
Thumbtacks, probably the biggest as far as when you mention names like Mick Foley. You talk about that thumbtacks in TNA. You compare that to Abyss, who always uses thumbtacks in hardcore matches. Most recently at Jericho, Chris Jericho went through a bunch of thumbtacks thanks to Dean Ambrose in an Asylum match. But thumbtacks pretty much, as soon as you see a black bag of some sorts, you know that there are thumbtacks in there, and then you see them spread across the ring. You're ready to see someone fall on their back, or even worse, on their face. Very dangerous weapon of choice.
Yes, and I mean, wow, the energy. And that's another thing too. I mean, wrestlers get tested every time, especially concussion tests and stuff. I'm amazed at somehow how Abyss has passed these tests with all the damage he's received.
Well, TNA is a different company, so we don't know how exactly they run their testing compared to WWE. I know WWE is very careful. I would assume Abyss is okay since he's still wrestling. But yeah, it's amazing what he's gone through, flaming tables, much like, you know, you mentioned Sabu and so on. But he's been through so many thumbtacks. Barbed wire is another famous one. Again, popularized probably by Mick Foley with the barbed wire bat. So dangerous. Just, it's crazy what they're willing to do to get a pop out of the crowd, to get that reaction.
And I mean, ladies and gentlemen, it's interesting because if you look at some of the old school games of ECW that they did have, there was an option to make the ring have ropes like that.
Yeah, and I'm trying to remember when was that last option of barbed wire ropes. When was that last used? I want to say it was pretty recent, but I can't remember exactly what organization it was. But that is, like, you have to avoid pretty much stepping outside the ring. Otherwise, you're gonna get hit with or pushed against one of those barbed wire ropes.
Yeah, that's really something. Those kind of matches, there's a lot of blood, yeah, but again, it's a controlled environment, and really, if you look at it, when you're not looking at the blood and if you're paying attention to the certain features, you'll know, one, there's paramedics backstage, and two, the ref actually has an earpiece he's being given instructions.
Instructions to make sure that the competitors in the ring are safe, despite being in that hazardous environment of that barbed wire and thumbtacks and so on. But there is instructions given to make sure that they're not going too far and making sure that if something goes wrong, they try to stop it as soon as possible.
Yes, and actually the boss would be having direct contact to the announcers through their headpiece.
Yeah, having them call the action, trying to divert the attention of the audience in case something does go wrong. They have to address that situation too.
And there have been moments in wrestling where things happen that are beyond the control of the show, and the show must go on, and they try to safely have people like exit. For example, TNA once had Pyro have technical difficulties and they had to leave the arena.
Yeah, absolutely. Another incident of Pyro going wrong, I think it was Monday Night Raw. This was like a couple of years ago. It was prior to the show, so nobody got hurt or anything, but there was a fire on stage and nobody would be let in. Obviously a safety hazard, but if something were to go wrong, they would definitely address it and make sure everyone is safe.
And they handled it pretty well. Mike Tenay, when he was still doing his color commentary, just trying to explain calmly as possible.
Yeah, definitely. And it shows you what commentators have to do to make sure that the show is going as smoothly as possible. They get direction from the producers and so on. So it shows you what they have to do and how difficult it is to be a commentator.
Yes, again, ladies and gentlemen, if this is your first time tuning in to Beyond the Ropes, wrestling to us, we've been lifelong fans of the industry for a long time. We grew up watching it.
Yeah, we've grown up watching it, and we've learned so many different aspects of that, and we're still learning a lot of things here, but definitely it's a great experience. It's always fun to watch and see what they're willing to do next, whether it's hardcore, whether it's the commentary, the styles, whether they have 2 commentators or 3, or even 1 sometimes.
And again, you hear different terminology here and then, like promos and gimmicks.
Promos, when you talk about a specific subject, you talk to the crowd, let them know what's going on. So definitely.
And gimmick as well.
Gimmick is a character of the person. You speak of gimmicks, you think about The Undertaker, probably the most successful gimmick, because it is who he is essentially. He plays that dead guy, but he took over that control, and led it to the promised land essentially, and he's forever immortalized because of that.
Yes, and he basically essentially is like, not necessarily like a walking zombie because he's capable of talking, but
right.
It's as if he came back to the dead, and he had specialty matches, and that we'll get into specialty matches in a future show. But basically, his specialty has been like Inferno and Buried Alive matches and casket.
Casket matches probably really popular. We mentioned the Hell in the Cell pay-per-view. Undertaker involved in the first, and involved in probably 20 Hell in the Cell matches, I believe.
Yeah.
The most out of any, if I'm not mistaken, maybe aside from Triple H, but truly an unstoppable force.
Well, we want to thank you for taking the time to listen to Beyond the Ropes, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Rob.
I'm Ethan.
And this was Beyond the Ropes. Until next time, folks.